Hello there, in this video I am going to talk about the planet energies Saturn, Uranus and Venus. I am going to tell the myth of the castration of Uranus by Chronos. Chronos is the Greek name of Saturn, so it represents the same energy, the same planet energy, and Chronos means time. So at the beginning, before the beginning even, Uranus, the sky, because Uranus, the planet Uranus in Greek means the sky. And I'm going to digress a little bit. When we say that Uranus rules Aquarius, the sign Aquarius, to understand, or more than understand, to feel what it means, we should go outside and just look at the sky. What do we see and what do we feel when we look at the sky? We see immensity. We see a complete absence of boundaries. There is no limit. We don't see any limit, we don't see any center, we don't really see any structure either. We see just immensity, infinity. That's the world of Aquarius, the sky. The sun is Leo, complete different atmosphere. Uranus was the sky. Uranus is still the sky, but at the beginning, before the beginning, Uranus and Gaia the earth, were making love, intensely, passionately. They were tightly embraced. There were absolutely no distance between them, while leaving some distance between someone you are passionately loving, of course. There was no room, no space between the earth and the sky, between Gaia and Uranus. And when Gaia became pregnant, as it happens when you're making love passionately without interruption, when Gaia wanted to give birth, there was no space, there was no room for the children to be born, so they had to stay within Gaia's belly. Uranus didn't want to see them, he didn't like them, these children, they were so imperfect. And Gaia was suffering, and when you suffer and when you feel pain, you don't feel that much love anymore. So she plotted to get rid of her lover, who didn't want to leave room for her children to be born. So she gave a sickle to her first son, her elder son, Chronos, Saturn. She gave a sickle, and suddenly Chronos surged and cut off track his father's genitals, in one go, and Uranus jumped on top of the sky. Uranus was the sky, so he jumped on top of himself, he jumped as high as he could, and he left a lot of space between the earth and himself. And Gaia's children, Gaia's and Uranus' children, could eventually be born. Chronos, the time, being the first of them all. Chronos, time, Saturn, means creation on earth, earthy reality. Castration of the perfect world of Uranus, the world of ideas, the world of ideals, the limitless world, the world of infinity, the world of eternity, where everything is perfect and where there are no limitations. People with strong Uranian energy can be genius, because they connect with this mental world, spiritual world, perfect world, away from the limitation of matters. They can be genius in spirit, but when it comes to realization on earth, within some limits, the first limit being time, Saturn intervenes. And that's why Saturn was called the Great Malefic, because Saturn brings limitation. Time's up. Discipline, organization, everything that shrinks and becomes dense, like you have to if you want to live on Earth. When Uranus is on the side of the angel, without any weight, Saturn brings a weight. So this energy, usually in a birth chart, is quite difficult, and it shows where we are struggling, where we feel pain or fear, where we feel everything that is painful by the very fact that you are living on earth, limited with spiritual, limitless aspirations. But through Saturn, we learn discipline, we slowly climb the mountain, and when we reach the top of the mountain, we are as close to heaven that we can be while still being on earth. Now, when Chronos cut off his father's genitals, some blood and sperm fell. Some of it fell onto the earth, and from the place where it fell, a centaur appeared and went galloping towards the horizon. So from this event also a great energy was liberated on the surface and the earth, because centaurs have a horse body, all this instinctive earthy energy, very powerful. And another part of the blood and the sperm fell into the sea. And then, from there, Aphrodite was born. Aphrodite, whose name means foam, like the foam at the crest of the wave, the subtle things at the top of the wave. And Aphrodite, Venus, expresses where we want to find the primordial unity again, when we want to see, before the appearance of children, this tightly embrace again. And Venus is not interested by children, like the moon is. The moon in the birth chart is much more earthy and wants children and home and family. Venus is where we're looking to find the ideal again. So there are connection between Venus and Uranus. So all these symbols help understanding the essence of the planet's energies, and the more we understand them in depth, the easier it becomes to understand how they change according to the signs and houses and the aspects that we can find in the birth chart. But it's enough for now, because as Chronos Saturn would say, your time is up!